is being recorded.
I'm doing great. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I am recording our conversation, so please do not hesitate to interrupt if you have any questions
All right, awesome.
whatsoever. That is totally fine. Um, yeah, I'm glad you got the progress chart report. Um,
Why is that?
Oh no, I'm just in general glad for that. But then I'm really glad to see you're born in '97. That's really the coolest part. You are new gen. You're part of a very illustrious generation. So that's awesome. I'm gonna kind of center a lot of the progression around that, and I know we've I think we've done a reading before since you got the progressed. You did the solar return. So yeah.
And that you got hit the head right on the nail, or hit the nail right in the head with that one.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to know that too. That's really awesome. So yeah, I mean, we know you were born Scorpio season 2, so congratulations. Uh, I'd like to reference this eclipse that is just going to bring this full-on focus of okay, I hate to say weirdos, but like very weird people, maybe wealthy people, but weird people that you're magnetically attracting. And I wouldn't say they're necessarily weird as much as they're weird. I'm joking. As much as they're eccentric. And actually, Taurus grounds this energy so that there's a more grounded authenticity, let's say, with how realistically you can connect with the people you're manifesting. It's actually really, oh, there we go. I should have kept that, huh? It's actually really revealing. I would say just off the strength of now, by the time we step into like March, May, April, March, April, May, the South Node will be actually on your rising. So your personality is being used as a resource to manifest groundedness and substance in your partnerships.
Oh wow, and it's kind of interesting too, because ever since the nodal shift too, like so many Tauruses, whether it been like people I've known in the past, have like just been coming back into my life, or just like popping up in like work scenarios too, which yeah, very interesting. And actually, quickly touching upon the eclipses, it's happening a day before my birthday this year. So,
Wow.
yeah, I'm not sure if you want to speak on that a little bit or.
Well, I actually would like to because that happened to be, I believe, like the first thing that caught my attention when I saw your chart again, which was the eclipse that's going to happen in May, but really during Scorpio season, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's going to reestablish, that's basically going to draw the pipeline of your personality, how you bring yourself into relationships, and it's going to legitimately unlock completely uh, yourself because the way the South Node unlocks this is you spent a large amount of time coming into wisdom and representing wisdom and really just transforming yourself. So all of that you have done, you're now going to be in that position to fully bring yourself into these partnerships, manifesting significant partnerships. I appreciate that because I'm Taurus rising. So it's literally the opposite for me, right? So like I'm gonna be connecting with Scorpio vibes so that I can come into kind of that way. How you doing, by the way? So let me see if I can grab your chart here.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool because I just stepped into my first year or yeah, first year of perfection. Yeah, first house perfection year. And my progressed moon just moved into Leo not too long ago, which and actually one thing that you had mentioned prior, I forgot, maybe it was like on your podcast, but how the progressed moon really shows us, or at least the energies that are the most prevalent in our life at that time.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So given that it's transiting through the eighth house and going into the ninth, and oh cool, okay. Yeah, and it's gonna hit my part of fortune at 20 degrees Leo soon. And that's in the ninth. So I
Okay.
found that during my whole Jupiter return was essentially the time where I had been coming into so many more resources and like that knowledge. And now it's like feels like the integration period, especially stepping out the 12th house year.
That's
So would you advise that like definitely more so like getting out on stage with that Leo moon and then the more I share my knowledge with others is gonna, you know, bring more bang for the buck, I guess you could say. Or
and you said it just entered Leo, right?
yeah, it's at 3 degrees, I believe, right now.
Oh, that's awesome. You got in there early enough, right before Pluto lays wreckage. Cool.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, because that opposition is definitely intense. So congratulations, you just escaped the Pluto, or you just completed the Pluto opposition to Cap, which must have been intense.
To say the least, yeah. But we made it. We're still standing.
That's what's up. So yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoy that victory Leo moon transit. So yeah, okay, and yeah, we can see this here too. The 3 degree uh, Leo moon. So we're actually on the way to your lunar progressed return. No wonder, I love that. We're on the way to your lunar progressed return. Uh, that's a very awesome period where your moon returns in Virgo here. Ah, yes, you're born 97. So you got the Sol Juno North Node Lilith contact, which is a very royal soul. I've come to realize.
Really?
Yeah, I was sleeping on Juno. So Juno, especially for women, is a very key indicator for a supreme goddess. Because Hera was like the queen of the goddesses, right? Isn't that like so extra? Like, oh, she's I'm the supreme, I'm the queen of the goddesses. You feel me? So, like, and I appreciate that because we know the Scorpio rising and sun is the pure queen, pure royalty. So I've been really like, I noticed this now on certain people's moons or suns, and it's like a mark of rulership that you have with destiny here, 97. So that's it's literally pimp. Like, that's literally like dope. So yeah, um, as your moon returns into Virgo, you're going to be coming more into the completion and let's just say manifestation of this because since you were born, you're on the verge of stepping into Sagittarius, which is also really cool because you're literally coming into that South Nodal unlocking, which is just really dope. In fact, yeah, the sun is 28 degree. The north node's 28 degrees. So by the time we get to maybe even next week, yeah, by next week, by the end of by Saturday, it's on your progressed sun.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so can you speak more on that too? Because I know like the opportunity to unlock so much like past life, um, all this like my soul work that I've done thus far,
Mhm.
but also the potential to like fall into the negative sides of the South Node. So and also too being my progressed what's telling in the 12th. Yeah. Could you speak more on that?
No, absolutely. Because damn, I completely forgot you have such a extremely amazing, or as I wanted to say, gangster Sagittarius stellium.
Hey,
No,
yeah. I love that.
you got Isis next to Venus, right? Lucifer is next to Pluto, which is interesting, but you have Isis next to Venus and Juno next to the moon.
Oh,
Once again, it's just like a very prominent like goddess energy and whatnot.
even
So
with Lucifer on the ascendant there?
yeah, the ascendant, 14 degrees. So the reason why we need to reference Sagittarius, and you also have Saturn in Aries, which is the new karmic cycle to kind of bring all this in. But the reason why we need to bring in Sagittarius into the picture is because personally, the South Node in Sagittarius unlocked this ascended value, and I actually appreciate your configuration because I'm 27 Taurus and 25 Scorpio, so like we both have like the magic manifestation. It's just you're at the ascended end and I'm at the alignment, right? So like I'm working with you one on one, but you're like showing everyone the vision. This is what you're getting ready to completely like step into. Which it's like magic. I met a Sagittarius woman with this, and I was so mad because I'm so jealous of y'all. Like y'all are on a whole nother level. I had to talk to the universe after because I was looking at her. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And basically, she was basically talking about how she lit a candle and she got like an offer for a $90,000 contract after. And like that's just the next, that's like that Sagittarius second house level. So I was like, wow, I wrote down on a piece of paper, I'm gonna see, like $40 or $100, and it came through. But then I was talking to the universe, see, why do you always give more money to Sagittarius? Like why do y'all just why did they get more? But it was just really fascinating to me because like I wrote it down Gemini, but she lit like light. So like this is everything. You have all this concentration of Mars and Venus, like as a Scorpio rising, you manifest light. But this is also light magic. And
Literally, no, actually, speaking of that really quickly, just for a quick example
go
to
ahead.
emphasize how true that is.
Also,
Um, I moved back home with my mom not too long ago, and she's having roof issues. And I literally did like a quick ritual with like a flame, and then like seconds later, seconds later, I get a deposit in my bank account from some random ass like I don't
stop
even know.
with
And then
me.
also our neighbor knocks on her door saying, "Hey, I noticed your roof needs some help. If I like give you like any fix it for us?"
Wow.
Whoa. And my mom, and she just like went over her head. I'm like, dude, that's magic. Yeah.
That is so amazing. Thank you for sharing that because like I've always, it's to like hear it or see it, you know what I mean? And that's what you manifest for the world, you know what I'm saying? Like the meaning. And so to see like Isis and Osiris in each side of it adds that like, more magical, supernatural touch with like Venus and Mars, and then Pluto is this extreme quality. So the South Node completely unlocked this because the North Node in Gemini is now, okay, I have all this light magic. North Node in Gemini is who can I truly invest this into? Who can I take what I have? Because the North Node eighth house transit increases your value by taking what you have and finding like the right stocks, the right crypto, the right people to invest this meaning in, right? To communicate and to draw boundaries of trust. So now this is everything you're manifesting in Taurus because now everything you unlocked as your value is now unlocking. Now that you've unlocked how ascended and magical your value is, because you got it like that clearly, now it's just like unlocking how you transform you. So the key here is um, you unlocked this magic, right, to a much more full. Let's say you unlock the full nature. Now the sun is going to go into Sagittarius, and you're going to manifest everything you unlock. That's kind of how you want to see the nodal.
And Dora's box.
Yeah, perfect. Because like Saturn went through here, Jupiter went through here, so the construction is done. Now you can really fully access it, I feel, and just get creative. That's super awesome.
Fantastic.
Super amazing. So yeah, if anything, I would say the moon in Leo is you now coming into fully enjoy. I almost even see like a roller coaster. Like you're coming up the Leo excitement, and then it's gonna come through the Virgo 10th house of accomplishment. Yay! Which should be quite the return. You definitely want to. That's deep. okay, yeah, we're gonna go a little bit into the future because this is actually really
Okay, cool.
so yeah, you at the very end, so Chiron, you at the very end of Scorpio is completing this. So we know you were born right before the new moon, and then you had the full moon in Taurus, which is very symbolic. So you were born right before the new moon in Scorpio. You had the new moon in Scorpio, maybe at around like 5 years old, and this was when you stepped into this new cycle of purity, like being purely the queen, yeah, and that's lit. Being purely, especially having the soul timing with destiny, you're a vessel of real destiny here, attached to your legacy. So, like myself, we both have North Node. That's cool too. We both have North Node in next to the MC. So our legacy is our soul mission, and we're destined to come into that success, which is really it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So then you had, of course, the quarter square in Aquarius. You understood the knowledge of your family and roots, maybe around like 10, 12. Then you completed the transit with the full moon in Taurus. And that was you feeling into how you can ground the intensity and purity of you through other people while still completing who you are by grounding that through other people. Then you had the now you're actually having that final quarter square in Leo. And if we go a little bit, if we go, what I'm picking up too, kind of the sense that like your energy is subtle but still intense enough to
Yeah,
where
Pluto is first, dude.
you can almost kind of feel that excitement, and you may instinctually hold it back because it's like you're drawing a lot, which is cool. But I think that's you on the verge. That's the sun at the very end of Scorpio. And so if you look at this quarter square, you're gonna have a legitimate square. Like, yeah, that's wild. 2024 is your next checkpoint. This is really coming into complete. This is how you're finishing Scorpio off with a bang. The quarter square, since you started this transit, right, is preparing for the return because this is going to be that now completion of your harvest since the full moon. Um, and the full moon is where you come into success. So I had the full moon in Capricorn. That was around the time I was able to do what I did full time, and I've been harvesting it. Once I come to moon in Aries, it's going to prepare me for the sun and Leo transit. Thank God. Oh my God, I've been waiting for that. So you're personally coming into this moon in Virgo, and then that's when the sun's going to go into Sagittarius with you, which is going to be very revealing. Looks like the moon's going to enter Virgo first, then the sun will follow. And this quarter square is going to be key because the time you're building up here to come into the moon at the end of Leo is charging all this passion. The quarter square relative to this new purity is okay. Now that I've understood the knowledge of my roots, how can I understand how passionate I share this intensity out to other people where people are going to be jealous as fuck because they think they're on my level, but they'll just never be on my level. And Scorpio has this like modesty and purity, but Leo is going to teach you to just tell people to kiss the ring and to hair flip and be like, yeah, you're just jealous because you don't have my swag. And there's a way Leo does it that is in integrity because it's not like you're going to like cause problems. This is just people kind of, this is your, being receptive to any shade thrown towards you, or just like that, that tendency for people to want you to be ashamed because of how awesome you,
Mhm.
which isn't always going to be, you versus the world. There's also going to be receptivity to people who really appreciate you holding space for this courage, which is also the challenge here with the square. How courageously can you really share your talents creatively out there? Because this now lunarly is the success cycle coming through your MC, and yeah, that quarter square is very significant. Once again, this is 2024, so this is when Pluto is ready to really go into, wow, Aquarius, and it's going to square your natal sun, and it's going to go over Uranus. So it's going to be very intense. You're going to have the progressed moon square while Pluto's squaring that. It's really anchoring and breaking through. So this year and next year, 2022, 2023, and 2024 is key, because that's quarter square it's breaking you through and transitioning you like a revolving door. Even though this is fixed, kind of want to see like a revolving door treatment. And then the sun will go into Sagittarius maybe later that year, like middle of 2024, coming to 2025. And so if we fast forward to like 2033, this is where we're going to see, oh wow, that was a good timing. 2032 is going to be the new moon for you. Middle of 2032, in Sagittarius on Pluto. My friend, you're getting set up. That's wild. Oh,
Ah,
you're gonna have that progress new moon on Pluto. That's like a brand spanking new awakening and new beginning.
that's
Uh,
really nice to hear.
oh yeah, that you're manifesting amazingly. Um, and Sagittarius is rising into Capricorn is preparing you to control all this adventurous and wild ascension of your being, which is the coolest part because being a Scorpio prepares you for God consciousness. You were born pure. You're born in pure spirit. And so the progression in the Sagittarius through the purity and transformation is an apotheosis rocket and into ascension. And you're 3 years away from that. So 2024, you know what I mean? Like the timing of this is really amazing. You're coming into this mastery of purity as the moon kind of squares in Leo, and you're just feeling more comfortable in your heart than ever and holding that space. I just kind of want to speak a little bit more to Sag. So Scorpio to Sag is mastery of purity after the fall of Libra. But you weren't born with that false status. You were born with the pure status. So after that purification, what was once that fallen spirit ascends back into life. But in your case, you were just born with the purity. So this is I like to call Scorpio like the baby gods and goddesses because then you step proper into God consciousness, Sagittarius, in 3 years. And now that purity of intent and wisdom is now manifesting this ascension of meaning and light. You're now becoming more aware of the light and magic you manifest so that you can really. The principle of this is freedom. So it's less about control as much as it is just really experiencing it, being in the moment. This is going to be fun. It's just I wonder if as a Scorpio, because as a Gemini, I'm going through Cancer, and I'm not a fan. I'm really not a fan. Like I just don't like the being sensitive to psychic emotions as a Gemini. Like I want to be in Leo and just talk all the shit and be like blah blah blah.
Yeah, that progressed moon transit through Cancer was definitely not too fun. But, actually, before you go on, quick question. All right, so I'm a life path 8, right?
Oh, nice.
So, would you associate 8 more so with the Capricorn? And then if so, like, the 10th house, is that why, like, I signed up for such a prominent 10th house?
That's a
Or, like,
that's a really
Scorpio?
that's a really good question because I've been starting to link the North Node and MC to the life path number.
Mm,
Like I'm life path 9, and
okay.
my North Node is in Aquarius, which is like everything about my North Node in MMC is nine, life path 9.
Like, humanitarianism and wow, wait, that's wild. That's so
And
cool.
I worked with a Capricorn who was a life path 8,
Mhm.
and I learned from her life path 8 is like super Capricorn. It's like very 10th house ish. It
Yeah, and I
could be
feel like oh, sorry, one of the themes definitely is, like, we're looking at the 8 symbol in general and, both the infinity sign, but, like, the integration and, I was born with one my thyroid, so, I'm, like, taking that as, like, okay, so if the throat chakra is, like, the gateway between the head and the heart, like one of my lessons here is that integration and knowing like between control or in like spontaneity and like just surrendering kind of thing to the
right.
divine. So, cool.
And I noticed because I know Taurus rules the throat and it looks empty there, but you do have this very magical second house, right? So
Mm.
that's very revealing. And that's everything that now that you're of age, like everything is really preparing for your return of your soul. Because since you were born, now once this returns, you're gonna be aware of your ascended value and you kind of coming into your second house is being aware of the your ability to manifest. It's just since your rising has gone through here, you were born pure queen, and now your personality has ascended. You're becoming the ascended being, and this is going to have you manifest coming into Capricorn being the director and
Mm,
to control all of that, you know, potential wildness. So I see all of this as like laying the groundwork for this ascension adventure, which is just, amazing. And as your soul returns, you're returning into that royalty, you're returning into that destiny with Juno. I like how I always kind of feel interesting when I see, which is the feature 97, like Juno and Lilith, like that specific year, y'all kind of blend the wifey and mistress vibe. It's like a
yeah, I can see that.
whole very, very fascinating to me. But yeah, the the that's really the wave here. Like you're coming, this is your ascension path, and yeah, that's really kind of how you want to see the next 3 years because once we step the moon in Leo now, okay, and that's cool too because Saturn and Aries anchors the Sagittarian experience. I feel like Saturn and Aries is what stabilizes this experience of manifestation to be powerful in its miraculous magical quality. And so, as you kind of define this area of meaning, the trine to Saturn is going to just strengthen a lot more of the power. And so the moon in Leo, that's grand fire trining this, is having you feel that excitement, that passion to really intensify this purity, which I would say is, before it goes into Virgo and Libra and balances. So
Mm.
this kind of like evoke with the square, unexpected. Oh yeah, because your moon is 3 degrees and that's squaring your sun. So the timing on that is also really cool too. And this is going to kind of have you intensify near exponentially, the volatility in case you've been feeling this like extremely happy, extremely dark, extremely happy. That's the Leo Scorpio beefing with each other.
Really? Okay, okay, wait. Oh, shit.
It's your inner
Alright.
and outer selves having that final showdown before your soul returns. Yeah.
Well, speaking on that, Grand Fire Trine, what, I guess you could say, like, you being a Saturnian, like, what
Mhm.
tools, especially when it comes to integrating that Saturn in the 5th house,
Mhm.
because, like, aside from learning the lesson of patience being a virtue and then going back to, like, the 19, Mars and Venus in the 1st, like,
Yeah.
impulse and, like, actually, like, sticking through with projects, I'd say, has been one of my biggest, like, downfalls.
Oh, okay, that's deep too. Well, Saturn is in the fifth, that's creativity, but your Aries is ruled by the sixth house. So
Mm.
by the time you get your Saturn return, you're now able to discipline your lifestyle and be able to kind of have the serious projects, but actually live your life around them. So you want to honor the struggle. Like that's what I learned. Like I try to rush everything before my Saturn return, and Saturn taught, nope, this is timing out for a reason. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna gain the lessons that you're gonna gain. So I say that to say that because Saturn in Aries, I think, is the most impatient Saturn because y'all expect to like master calculus in like 2 days.
You have, like, quantum physics, all that stuff, yep.
How dare you not get this in like 5 seconds? What's wrong with you? And it's like,
Yeah,
like
right?
you can give yourself time, you can allow yourself, but it's also really powerful because Saturn in Aries, I feel like is commanding short-term power too, where it's like you can make things happen very quickly.
Wait, yeah, and actually, bouncing off of, Christopher Techie's step system,
Right.
alright, so 15 being what is that? Imagination, and then 19 being production. Oh, wow, wait, okay, so, like, working on visualization techniques, would you consider that being, like, an amplifier and what I come to actually produce tangibly in the world?
Absolutely.
Cool, cool.
That's a major element. I'm glad you brought in that step system too, because that just like took that to the next level. Visualization is, if like communication and talking for me, then visualization is going to be like a general vehicle. I can even share an article. I'm going to share audiobooks now
Okay.
that it's like E Squared and Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. It the Feeling is the Secret is going to reference like techniques towards, I was gonna say levelizing a goal, but more so techniques that allow you to feel the future desire you want as a present fact, to sit in that as if it's real. And you have such visualization magic with Pluto, like real time, everything you're visualizing is happening. And that's just gangster. You feel me? So like there's just like a different level of responsibility or ability with this, that's really what the Sagittarius transit is. It's you with the sun going in there, playing with how much you can visualize, playing with how much you can sustain. I'm so glad you kind of brought that to 15 degrees, I think is step 6, which is like balance. I know you mentioned imagination, which is kind of with step 7 too. No, okay. So that's just very important because with the fire too, and with the moon in Leo, this is going to really inspire you more than ever to realistically tap into being as creative as possible. The best way to, especially with Saturn and Aries, any kind of issues you have not being able to sustain or finish things, thankfully your karma is to just start things, so you don't have to worry about finishing things as you're sparking.
Really? Wait,
Yeah,
that's so cool. Wait,
yeah.
okay.
Right, like, let's say that we all have parts of a project. A lot of what the universe will bring you around is to inspire the spark of a new idea and then move on to that next. Even with the MC in Virgo, you're not meant to keep a job. You're not meant to always see things to fruition because you're meant to just go to the upper management and be like, okay, this job is trash. We need to fix it. Indeed. And they're like, damn, she's right. Oh my God. And then it's before you, after you, and then after you fix it, it's on to the next job. It's on to helping spark the new beginning. It's on to for that. So that
So
doesn't mean
yeah,
that.
it's horrible at holding down jobs, and I've always known, like, I'm eventually gonna do some, like, entrepreneurial or, like, nonprofit work in the future, but,
Right.
like, yeah, that Virgo, 10th house or just, like, that area too, I'm just kind of very hard on myself when it comes to, like, "Oh, okay, like, this isn't, like, quote, unquote, how reality is," or, like, well, the how the status quo is at least, like, posed in. And
Mhm.
but wow, wait, that's interesting because I know natally, like, the cardinal energy is what I kinda lack in the most, but yeah, thank you for, validating that, like, I'm supposed to, essentially be the sparker.
Yes, and that's another thing, because you said that was really important. You don't have uh cardinal energy, and that's like in my chart. The only thing I have in mutable is my sun. I don't have any other mutable energy, so I don't be visualizing. I don't see like I don't dream like that. I'll think my ass off though because I have that sun always in my head. But like Saturn being the cardinal with that limitation, cardinal action is your karmic lesson. So right. You will come to that sense where you do integrate a whole lot of your discipline, but it's going to be in your own way. It's going to be at your own interval. You're going to live a disciplined lifestyle, but in an original way, not in like the traditional, like I worked 10 hours a day and it was, because that's not what you're really here for. You're here to really kind of have creative, but structured passion in your life. So that's what's coming through. And what I feel with the moon in Leo is you're called to just spend time in creativity. Try to make everything you do that constitutes your routine fun and just spend time in fun because that's going to help you understand how to finish things once you're kind of more in that energy of fun, you're going to realize you're actually really good at finishing things. The reason why you don't finish them is because you lose interest or it's just no longer fun. And when it's not fun,
Mm.
you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna kind of help you sustain that.
So would you suggest like more so when it comes to those big projects and going back to like being the sparker and like the motivator, should I be like co-creating among other individuals and like essentially like finding others who would be more like well not but I don't know, I don't want to about
I
that.
love that. I actually love that you said that because that sounds to me like Virgo MC. Virgo MC has now evolved to Libra MC. So you're stepping into your cardinality. So you progressed into a social leader. The social influence of Virgo is the critique and the insight with Juno and with the North Node that you're destined to kind of help fix and like connect the dots here. So the Scorpio rising is your social personality, and Taurus is bringing that individuality, seventh house, to other people. And this is where you can kind of give someone a life changing insight because with the second house Sagittarius, you manifest miracles for people. You give them the like, oh, that's how I see it. And it like literally like pimps their manifestation. They may not even really always see it too, because this could be more so collective. It's like it's being channeled. So yeah, you could do whatever. You can do that. You could focus more on yourself. I feel like focusing more on yourself as a social personality focuses on other people too and kind of gives towards other people. So this is going to be kind of you. I don't even want to say getting out your own way as much as you just sorting through how you tap into more of your creativity because you want to allow Leo to be a diva here. You want to tap into your inner diva and challenge your own Scorpio. As the Scorpio part will put it back in check, but this will allow you to be more comfortable being creative towards other people socially.
Okay, okay. And actually, I'm also on astro.com with my progress chart, and it looks like that, and going off of what you mentioned about Taurus and the 10th degree with Techie's degree theory, it looks like Chiron progressed into my 11th house, and it's at 10 degrees. And my Psyche's at 29 degrees in the 11th house too, about to progress into Scorpio. So with that having to do with, like, associations with others and, like, friend groups and wish fulfillments.
Yep. I'm glad you mentioned Psyche too. I didn't have her pulled up, but like, yeah, I don't. I like to acknowledge her. I didn't know it came back. So 29 Scorpio, you said, right?
29 Libra.
29 Libra, cool. Good to know. Okay, so yeah, I mean, Chiron 10 degrees Scorpio is cool, uh, because we want to see its opposition to Uranus right now, which is 10
Oh.
degrees. So
But would
yeah,
that show up as me manifesting the wound or me manifesting the healing of the wound?
healing of the wound, healing
Oh,
of the it's only going to continue to be a wound if you haven't acknowledged it. But because you're progressing through, it is that constant healing. And then it's unconventional, it's supernatural, opposite Uranus. So here's what, because we're late risings, right?
mhm,
That majority of Taurus that's in your sixth house is manifesting that groundedness of and quality of behavior for other people. It's like ruled by the seventh. So everything that's sixth house Taurus is for other people. It's everything that you're manifesting in your lifestyle and behavior for other people to integrate towards others. So you can blend it like a seventh house. And
mhm,
so this is that like divine healing that is being triggered by other people and also healing other people through you kind of personifying it. Because at a surface level, it's going to look like you're being triggered. It's going to look like it's going to feel like you're actually healing it on yourself. But this is like pure queen goddess vibes. So here's a visual. It's like somebody has a very messed up thought or somebody has a pain, and so you take their pain and then you feel it yourself like, oh, my arm, and you feel it. And now that person's like, how did you know my right arm was hurting? But it looks like you had the pain in the arm. So it's just like, so that's already like weird as hell because like it looks one way, but it's so advanced what you're doing. It's like having you kind of flip it on its head. in a
And is
sense.
that like Scorpio Sag dynamic playing out, especially like the stellium in the 12th house kind of being the mirror to who I'm interacting with, but also like in a sense being vilified for it, and then but also like the Sag stellium in the first, like that being my like self, or like the first,
Yeah,
not first person,
no,
but
you nailed it. You nailed it. The key thing you said too that gave me chills is being vilified. Because now Pluto Lucifer here is you're not in, whereas other people would explain, no guys, like I'm doing this for you, like I'm helping you do this. Pluto Lucifer is like, yeah, fuck you guys, I'm the bad guy. Even though he's actually helping people, he doesn't care if he's being vilified. This is just like, if this is what I need to do, you know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of adds that flair to it because ultimately you see what's up and you see that karma too is coming back through but yeah, I kind of want to emphasize that super magical element because as you step into Sagittarius and now start to manifest coming into late 2024 into 2025, we know Jupiter is going to be coming out of Taurus in your seventh and going into Gemini. So this is what's going to fully awaken and activate, and that's the coolest part. That's kind of how I want you to see this. You're on the verge of loading your loading screen because, like, having the Scorpio energy in and of itself is already intense. I mean, you're lighting candles and, like, it's getting real, like, right? So you're on the verge of like stepping into a total awakening and ascension. Going into Sagittarius is going to like awaken this higher ascended level of goddess consciousness, which I kind of want to see like a video game or like a fantasy movie where like right, like if you think about lighting that candle, you knew it happened, but as a Sag rising, it was still in the 12th. Like you still had to see the evidence versus being fully aware real time and in that power, which is what
yeah,
you're on the verge to legitimately actualizing, which is just like nothing less than super badass. Like, I think this is one of the most amazing progressions you're getting ready to step into. Moon is going to be in Virgo. Your soul is going to be returning. You'll feel more like yourself than ever. And it wasn't until my moon returned in the Capricorn, I actually started to feel comfortable being uncomfortable as a Cap moon. Like it's like I've come back around, but now as a Cancer aware. So seeing things that were uncomfortable for me before, I'm just understand it so much more. There's a lot more acceptance. And it's gonna clash with the Sag sun, but in ways that can show you how to feel more into your mastery. That moon in Virgo is coming back around to attain aspects of yourself you knew were amazing, but you didn't know how to appreciate now that you've evolved so much. And it's like, oh, wow, like I'm perfect. I'm amazing. I'm ascended. I'm ascending. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And this is where, yeah, it's gonna be very lit. I would say coming into 2025, 6 is where you go over your Pluto and progress Pluto. You manifest the overcoming of this vilification because all this is also preparing for your Saturn return, where your power will return. And yeah, you know what's also cool? In your progress chart, Lucifer is catching up to the AC. So this is you kind of identifying with that ascended aspect of this light bearer magic, which in Sag is very provocative and revealing, revelatory, showing people the folly of their own lies so that they can see that illumined truth. So being an instrument of that is this very divine magic fire with Mercury having you become more of the magician and really communicate this element of your value because now that you're becoming your second house, you're manifesting this quality of your magic like so, which really goes a long way towards realistically preparing you to see into everything you're worth. And now that Mars and Venus that were in Sagittarius have now gained incredible power, Mars is exalted now here with Isis and Osiris. So this is developing the incredible nature of your abilities. You're manifesting your incredible power and abilities and superpowers through how you organize and take action to step in and control, physically and direct the quality of this magic. So instead of the magic just happening, Now you're able to coral and focus it. And then, of course, we have Mercury that was in Scorpio, pure and detective with your mind, now ascended, seeing all the possibilities. And it being so close to your AC, you're becoming the magician here, where you're lighting a candle and stuff just kind of
Ooh,
happens. Oh my God, that's so amazing.
I call that this morning.
So
Cool.
and that unlocked last year, right, with the South Node. So now you're unlocking the pure, royalty of how you truly pipeline this wisdom and communicate it. So I mean, that's amazing. That's
That
literally
is so amazing. Wow, thank you so much for your wisdom. This has been so enlightening
so fun. Hey,
and
Don,
empowering.
do you mind calling back in like 8 minutes?
Yes, yes, that's fine. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
All
That's
right.
true. Yeah. So, did you have any questions?
I guess you pretty much nailed it. I wanted to talk about the progressive moon, Chiron at 10. Oh, yeah, wait, okay. So it's an 8-degree difference, but all right, so I have in my on this progress chart 27 Sun and then Pluto at 5. Would you consider that a Sun Pluto conjunction?
Oh, progress Pluto at 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. So I'm gonna reference the alien construct article
Okay.
because did we ever talk about that before? I don't think I ever gave you that before.
Unless you put it on one of your talks,
I
but
put it in the video, but I'm gonna when you get the recording, please watch that. Please read
okay.
that
Okay.
because technically you would count as a Pluto power alien within
Ooh.
10 degrees. It applies. So you're inheriting this. You weren't born with it, but you're inheriting this throughout the progression. You also want to read the Pluto instrument alien because you're rising. You were born within 10 degrees of this, so you have this as an instrument. So, as a Pluto power, as you get closer to this throughout the next decade,
Mhm.
in Sagittarius, this is based on sight. So you can sense negativity, discover the other, sorry, destroy that which isn't built on truth, understand the true nature of birth, sets, death, and power, generate energy and power, perform psychic surgery, exorcism, scan the astral plane, see beneath solid surfaces. Honestly, in Sagittarius, it takes it to a whole nother level. And as an instrument alien, you can cause others to see what's occurring on different levels. So, yeah, to answer your question, oh, yeah. And every year it'll get more and more intense, peaking at like 2025, 2026, 2027. And then there's still like the 5, 10 year afterglow after.
Ooh, okay.
You're like, you're not only manifesting it, you're sponsoring it for people. It's like you can awaken people's sight, right? Coming into this ascended goddess nature, which is
Mhm.
very, very, very magical, super magical, if that.
I love that.
And
Yeah.
the moon in Leo is also going to be opposite your Aquarius energy. So this is going to help you feel clear cognizantly how creatively to express your heart. It's just going to happen so fast. It's going to be like a genius thought loop. But
You know,
it's
it's interesting because you just said Claire, like Claire Cognizance. My middle name is Claire.
oh, that's amazing. You got all the clairs.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I guess so.
oh, that's super gangster. So, I mean, please feel free to keep in touch. Jupiter and Pisces is going to really be the portal to anchor all this down. You're coming into brand new divine talents. And coming into Sagittarius, it's showing you how much more creatively to see your value. Because even everything magical, you have ascended value. So, this is expressed through freedom. It teaches you that nothing is worth your freedom being compromised, right? Like everything that kind of frees up your creativity.
That's
Is
interesting you said that because I forgot what year it was, but I was briefly incarcerated. And like
no,
that, yeah.
that's some. Thank you for telling me that. That to me looks like the 12th house Scorpio
Yep,
energy, and
yep.
you clearing that karma of the 12th. I knew you're a gangster. That's amazing. So like, yeah, it is what it is. I'm gonna say, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. That's no problem. Stay in touch, and you stay blessed as always.
You as well. Thank you.